He wouldn't let it stay.
Would you like the camera, honey?
No.
Just don't grab it anymore. It's not going to be a play today.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's been called the Bard from Avon, an upstart crow, Mr. Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare, and most well known as the greatest writer in the history of the English tongue. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, from Stratford-on-Avon, please give a very warm welcome to Mr. William Shakespeare!
I told him to put that line about the greatest writer ever in there myself. I really like the way that sounded. Well, as the man said, my name is William Shakespeare, and I am from Stratford-on-Avon, which is in merry old England.
Hey Shakespeare, where's your greatest accent?
I left it in England. Anyway, my parents were John and Mary Shakespeare. I was born in April of 1564. Now, my father really didn't want me to be a writer. He wanted me to make belts and leather purses like him.
William, put the pin down and help me tan these hides or I'll tan yours.
Yes, Father. Okay. But despite the fact that my father wanted me to do this, writing was in my blood. It's what I wanted to do. So, I decided to go to elementary school and become a great writer. Actually, one of your own was in my elementary school class. In 1582, Dr. Johnson was actually in my elementary school class. But he was a little older than me, and believe it or not, he didn't really know his Latin very well.
What is it?
Dr. Johnson was in his class.
You know, unlike most great writers of the time, I didn't even have a university education. That led this jerk named Robert Greene to say about me,
That's Shakespeare. He's nothing but an upstart crow.
what? Me? An upstart crow? I'm the greatest writer in the history of the Western language. And he's calling me an upstart crow? Well, I guess everybody gets some bad reviews when you're young. So I figured that playwriting may not have been my thing. So I also wrote some poetry. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
No!
Rachel, how good was that?
Well, romantic poetry may not really have been my thing, so I decided to go back to playwriting, even though I did write some great sonnets. Well, playwriting, I wrote a number of great plays. Like this one play, I just can't remember, but everybody seemed to like it. It was about this Danish prince who really can't figure himself out. The guy even thinks he sees his father's ghost. I can't remember much about it. Maybe I'll remember it later. But I also wrote a lot of other plays. If you ask anybody who the most influential writer of the last 1,000 years is, they'll say me, William Shakespeare. Or at least they should. Well, because of me, we have the movies, the comic books, the things you see are influenced by the stuff I did. It's because of me that we have action movies.
To be or not to be? Not to be.
I think I saw him in California a few weeks ago. Also, we have comedies.
Friends, Romans, countrymen,
lend me your ears. Yet, if you lend me your ears, how can you hear me?
Okay, that's not comedy.
That was Grinch me.
And we also have horror movies. Well, everybody seemed to like my plays, but there was one that generally people like the most. It's a play called Romeo and Juliet. Have any of you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Good. Let me tell you, Romeo and Juliet is about two young lovers. Now, Romeo is obviously a boy, and Juliet's obviously a girl. But for the purposes of today's play, Romeo will sometimes be played by a girl. And we'll also have it switching up, but you guys seem like a smart audience, so I don't think that'll throw you off too much. Anyway, the only problem is I wrote so many plays, I really can't remember what this one was about. I mean, you know, I wrote this one play about a storm, another play about...
You can't remember what Romeo and Juliet is about?
No. I wrote a lot of plays. I mean, you know, I wrote this one play, it was either the 11th night or the 13th night or something like that. And I wrote this one great play that everybody liked called Much Ado About Something.
Let me help you. Two houses, both alike in dignity,
Where?
in fair Verona, where they are seen.
Oh, so what's this play about?
From ancient grudge breaks new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean.
Huh?
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their lives.
Star-crossed lovers take their lives? Well, that sounds really uplifting.
Whose misadventure piteous overthrows, which doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which, but their present end, not remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. See, this play is about two families, the Capulets and the Montagues.
Gregor, on my word, we will not carry colts.
No, but then we should be colors.
I mean, we'll draw.
Ah, wonderful. Draw your neck out of the car.
I start quickly, being moved.
But they are not quickly to move straight.
The dog in House Montague moves me.
That shows you a weak slave, and the weakest goes to the wall.
'Tis true. Therefore, women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore, I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
Draw thy tool. Here comes one of the house Montague.
My naked whipping is out. Quarrel, I will back.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb in them, which is disgrace to them, if they bear it.
You like to thump me, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
If you ever disturb our streets again, your life shall pay the forfeit of the peace.
Yes, ma'am.
They just have been fighting for so long, they can't even remember what it's about. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I mean, fighting and not even knowing why? It's ridiculous. Well, the Montagues have this boy named Romeo. Where is Romeo? 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 Wherefore are you, Romeo? Have you forgot thy name? Maybe he has denied his name. Well, we can't have a play without the main character. Oh, there he is. Well, hello, Romeo.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other man.
Well, good morning, Mary Sunshine.
Today so young?
See, Romeo's a little moody. He's always either in love or out of love.
Out of her favor, where I'm in love.
So, Romeo's friend decided to cheer him up by letting him go to a party over at his neighbor's house, the Capulets. Capulets? You can't go there. They're your arch enemy. You can't go.
I'll go.
While he's at this party, Romeo meets a bright young lass named Juliet.
I fain, my word is hand, whose whole is shine. The gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand. Smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much, which manly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands the pilgrim's hands do touch, from palm to palm, as holy palmers kiss. Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too? I, pilgrim, once the issues in prayer. Oh then, dear saint, let lips do hands to me. They pray, friend thou, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though for prayer's sake. They move not, while my prayer and faith I take. Thus, from my lips, by not, my sin free. Then have my lips the sin they took. Sin from my lips, oh trespass will be heard. Give me my sin. You kiss by the book.
So Romeo's finally found himself a girl. The only problem is,
what dares the slave come hither? To strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Juliet's cousin, Tybalt, really doesn't like Romeo. See, to him, Capulets shouldn't go out with Montagues. I mean, that would be like a cat going out with a dog.
And dogs don't.
And dogs don't go out with cats.
Good point. Now, there's something I need to tell you about the way my plays were acted during my time of theater. First of all, the plays were performed in a great place called the Globe Theater, so all of you would be gathering around me and watching me. But back in my day, of course, who would play Romeo? A strapping young lad. Strapping, isn't he? Now, of course, Romeo would be played by a boy, but despite the fact that the leader of our country was a woman, Queen Elizabeth, women were not allowed on stage. So do you know who would play Juliet? That's right, a young man. See, men played the women's parts back then. So Romeo and Juliet would be more like Romeo and John. Now, I really didn't like that very much. Wow. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? No. Feisty, aren't they? Now, let's see how one of the most famous scenes in theater would be played out with boys playing both parts.
But soft, but light, the yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet and the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Wherefore, he's right here.
Take me at thy word. Call me with love and I'll be the captain. Henceforth, I will never be Romeo. With love's light wings I approach these walls, for stony limits cannot be love out. And what love can do that dares love its nature? Therefore, thy kinsmen are no stop to me. Alack, their lives are peril in thine eye than in 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, thine improvements are enmity. Blessed night, I am afeard. Being a knight, all this is but a dream. Too flattering, sweet to be substantial. Sleep full upon thine eye, peace in thy breast.
So Romeo's finally found himself a girl. Now, they like each other so much that they decide to get married. Married? They've only known each other, what, an hour? Oh, I forgot they didn't have watches back then. Anyway, that's pretty quick. And they don't decide not to tell two people that are very important. Their parents. Now, this leads to a big mix-up. And since a lot happens, I'm going to try and tell you very quickly. Okay. Tybalt is still very upset with Romeo that he crashed his parents' party.
Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
This makes Romeo's best friend Mercutio very upset.
Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
Long story short, Tybalt kills Mercutio.
A plague on both your houses.
Well, Romeo can't stand for this, so he fights with Tybalt and wins. But all of this gets Romeo in big trouble with the law, so he gets sent away, banished.
Be merciful, say death! For exile is more terrorism, much more than death. Do not say banishment. And know there is no world without carnal walls, purgatory, torture, hell itself! It's banished from the world, and the world's exile is death. It's banished from the world. I'll cut us off my head with a golden axe. And laughed upon the stroke that murders me.
So Romeo's in deep trouble with the law now. Now, Romeo gets sent away to a place called Mantua. And while he's there, nobody knows what to happen. But Juliet hears about what has happened, and she is, of course, very distraught. Now, because of this, Juliet is also very smart. So she comes up with a great plan. She'll fake her death. And in doing this, she'll be able to be with Romeo. See, she'll drink this potion, and this will allow her to appear dead. And then when her family buries her, she'll be able to leave and be with her Romeo. All they need to do is tell Romeo. It's a great plan. Let's see how it works out.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint, cold fear thrills through my veins and almost freezes at the heat of life. I call him back again to comfort me. Nurse, what should she do here?
dismal scene I needs must act away. Come, Vile, what if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. How, if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, whose foul mouth of healthsome air breathes in, and there die, strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or, if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle, wherefore this many 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed? Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, and iron with these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the maple tibble from the shroud, and in this raid some great kinsman's bow, as with the club, dash out my desperate brains. Oh, look! Methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo, that did spit his putty upon a ravier's point. Stay, Tibble, stay! Romeo, Romeo, Romeo. Here's the ring. I yearn to thee. Mistress! What mistress? Juliet. Fast I were in her shoe. Why, Lamb? Why, lady? Fie, you slug bed. Why, love, I say. Madam, sweetheart, why, bride? What? Not a word? You take your P-worse now. Sleep for a week. For the next night, county Pierce has set on this rest that you shall rest but little. May God forgive me. Mary, amen. How sound is she asleep? I mustn't wake her. Madam, madam, madam. Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up in faith, will it not be? What? Dressed, and in your clothes, and down again, and Musty's waking. Alas, alas, help, help, my lady's dead! Oh, God, the day that ever I was born. Some awful we tied. Oh, my lord, my lady. Oh, the miserable day. Look, look, oh, heavy day. She's dead, see, she's dead, last day. Oh, woeful, woeful, woeful day. Most lamentable day, most woeful day. Ever I never told. Oh, day, oh, day, oh, day. Hateful day. No, awful day. Woeful day. Woeful day.
All right, so far so good. Juliet has been taken off to her family's tomb to be buried there. But remember, Romeo has been sent away, banished.
Oh, banishment.
Now, Romeo is in Mantua, and he's supposed to hear the word about Juliet's plan and then come to get her so they can go away and be married. But there's a problem. In Mantua, there's the plague. Have any of you ever had the plague? It's a lot worse than the chicken pox. So while Romeo is in Mantua, he can't hear anything, and the messenger who's supposed to tell him can't get in. But what he does hear is that Juliet has been buried in her family's tomb. So Romeo can't take this. He decides that if he's going to be with her, he has to be with her in the tomb. So he goes to an apothecary and buys a deadly poison. Then he escapes from Mantua to see his Juliet, his bride, now in her family's crypt.
A grave? Oh no, a lantern slaughtered you. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there, thy dead man entered. Call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath, has had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou and that the lean of horned monster keeps you here to be his paramour? Here's my love. Oh, true apothecary, the drugs are quick. Thus with a kiss, I die. Where's my Romeo? Thy lips are warm. Yea, noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, here is thy sheath, there rest, and let me die. Thus, never was there a tale of more woe than that of Juliet and her Romeo.
Well, that's a real downer of an ending. Well, even though things end sadly here, something actually turns out right. See, because of what happened to Romeo and Juliet, the family realizes that fighting is ridiculous, that this is what happens if you fight. And they realize that they have to stop their feud. And they do. See, that's called a catharsis. It's a cleansing. It's when everybody recognizes the actions of what has happened. And because of that, they change their ways. So something good actually comes of it. Now, I know that you don't think that anything good could have come out of this, but it did because of the ways that they were changed. That's tragedy. It's when something truly sad happens, but the community grows as a result. You'll learn about that later. Now, I still can't remember this play I wrote. It's one of my most famous. I'm so bad with names. Some greatest writer of the English language am I? I can't even remember my best play. I don't even know whether to be or not to be. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to bear the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, to sleep no more. And by sleep we mean to end the thousand heartaches and natural shocks which flesh is heir to. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come. When we have shuffled off that mortal coil, it must give us pause. To be or not to be.
Not to
The 8th grade players. That's very good, isn't it? They're great. And their producer, Andy Black. Yes. I actually think that we have some actors in the 8th grade. I'm being real serious. There's some very graceful, I don't know what to say about Mason, though. I hope he didn't enjoy that too much. I might have a worry there. We hope that you enjoyed this. I truly think we saw excellence in front of us, and I hope that you'll go and do likewise, classes, and we can do more presentations like this. This took a lot of effort by this class, by Mr. Black, and I've seen some things at Westminster that I've been really proud of. This is one of them. They've done a great job. Lower school, you're dismissed.